You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real as Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered daily digital show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. You can make this possible.
Every single vote is going to matter in this election. Every single vote. And the Native American vote could very well be a difference maker here in Georgia as well. They played a huge role in Arizona when Joe Biden beating Donald Trump in Arizona. Joining us right now is O.J. Semans. He is the founder of Four Directions, which focuses on the Native American vote. I met O.J. yesterday at Pastor Raphael Warnock rally in Gwinnett County, and I definitely want to get him on. O.J., welcome to Roland Martin Unfiltered.
Mendakiapi, we chose any locally. First of all, Roland, it's really an honor to be on your show. I was watching just the forecast, the news you put on just before I came on, and I thought I was on another reservation. So we know what you're going through.
So, O.J., explain to a lot of our folks who, look, the reality is when you hear these elections, they talk about the power of the black vote. They talk about the importance of the Latino vote. You don't have a lot of attention on the Native American vote, but we saw in Arizona the role that Native American voters played in that election. We've seen the exact same thing where Republicans was basically the voter suppression that was taking place against Native Americans in South Dakota as well. And so how critical will the Native American vote be here in Georgia, and give people a sense of the numbers of Native Americans who will be voting in this state?
Well, we actually went, Georgia is one of the three states that you identify on the voter registration, you identify your race. There was 15,000 people that identified as Native Americans, and using the census and going through the numbers, we figured there's probably another 40,000 Native Americans out there. The majority of which we found in Atlanta are the metro area of Atlanta, like Fulton County, DeKalb, in which they identified themselves as Native Americans or others. So we're looking probably around maybe, 45, 50,000 Native Americans that are living in Georgia that we're targeting.
Now, of course, when you look at voting patterns, African Americans typically are voting Democrat. Same thing when it comes to Latinos at a much lower number. What is the breakout? Do the Native Americans, are they evenly split, Republican and Democrat? Do they lean more Democrat than Republican? A sense of what potentially who they will be targeting and voting for in this state in the runoffs?
Well, Native Americans basically really don't identify as parties. They identify with issues. And this past 4 years have made it very easy for Native Americans to decide what issues that are being looked at and answered, or basically ignored. And in the elections, like in Arizona and in Nevada, Minnesota, Wisconsin, it was like a 95, 96 turnout rate in which they voted Democrat.
Wow, 95, 96%. And when you say the last 4 years, so you're saying that Native Americans have suffered greatly under Donald Trump and under Republican rule in the United States Senate?
Well, not only they have suffered from, his actions that he's taken. The Dakota Access Pipeline, for one, in which President Obama put a stop to it. Immediately, President Trump came in and he started the pipeline up. The desecration of sacred sites, his remarks using the name Pocahontas in a derogatory racial manner, in which basically after he did that, we actually, today is the 130th anniversary of the Wounded Knee Massacre. And so what we did is we started legislation that's in the Senate and the House to remove the medals awarded to the 7th Cavalry that murdered the women and children at Wounded Knee. So, the 4 years have been really detrimental to Indian country throughout the United States. There's been so many cuts and again, the sacred sites. It's just over and over. So issue-based, they really didn't have any choice but to vote for individuals that would progress Native American issues. One important thing about people wondering why Georgia is important to Native Americans, Deb Haaland was recently nominated as the Secretary of Interior, which is a first time in America's history that a Native American was actually appointed a cabinet position in Interior. And the U.S. Senate is the one that confirms those nominations. And so Indian Country is looking at Georgia at who is going to take and support Deb Haaland's nomination, and with a lot of other reasons, but that one is really key right now. And so a lot of Native Americans in Georgia are really paying attention to this.
All right, then. Well, look, first of all, as we say, every vote does indeed count. Last question for you, OJ. There are millions of dollars being spent on ads all around this particular state to reach those Native American voters. What are y'all doing? What are you actually doing? Is it in person? Obviously, you got COVID issues as well. And so how are you reaching out to those folks to get a sense of what they care about and what they're concerned about and how they're going to be voting?
Thanks for asking that. We actually have a COVID plan that we follow. Hey, science is science and it works. We prove it over and over. We've hit over 15,000 homes person to person where we knocked on the doors and talked to them. We've had conversations with about 4,000 or 5,000 people. We had a 90% positive rate that they are going to vote. We have our PPE that we wear when we knock on the doors. We also have a phone bank that we use to call individuals for those individuals that don't feel comfortable going on the doors. So, and we're also doing mail flyers to individuals. So we reached out right now, at least 15,000. We hit some of them 3 times. We're having conversations with them. We're identifying issues. And what we're trying to also do is let them know that the natives in Georgia, they also have the same issues as the natives throughout the United States, and that as a people that we can make a difference if they stand behind us. Our people always said we stand upon the shoulders of our ancestors, and therefore any barriers that they place before us, we're able to overcome them in order to ensure that we have the equal access to that ballot box.
All right, OJ Semans, founder of 4 Directions. We certainly appreciate it. Thank you for joining us and giving our viewers a perspective about the Native American vote in this election.
My pleasure, and thank you very much. It's an honor to be here, and you keep up the good fight. I really enjoy watching you.
I appreciate it, sir. Thank you so very much.
Back to that Roland Martin Unfiltered video.
It's time to be smart. When we control our institutions, we win. This is the most important news show on television of any racial background. Y'all put $2, $3, $4, $5, $10, $15, $20, $30 on this and keep this going. What you've done, Roland, since this crisis came out in full bloom. Anybody watching this, tell your friends. Go back and look at the last 2 weeks, especially of Roland Martin Unfiltered. I mean, hell, go back and look at the last 2 days. You've had sitting United States senators today, Klobuchar and Harris. Whatever you have that you can bring to Roland Martin Unfiltered to support it, please do, because this information may literally save your life.
Watch Roland Martin Unfiltered daily at 6 p.m. Eastern on YouTube, Facebook, or Periscope, or go to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered Daily Digital Show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Our goal is to get 20,000 of our fans contributing $50 each for the whole year. You can make this possible. RolandMartinUnfiltered.com.